Being clinically depressed was one of the most scary, overwhelming, upsetting, and hopeless experiences of my entire life. I remember thinking I would never get better. I remember struggling to get through the day. I remember minutes took hours, hours took days, days took weeks, so on, so forth. Nobody could tell me different. I could not see through my pain ever, and it was never ending until it ended. Now, I'm really happy to say that today I am not depressed. At most, I get sad from time to time, but I am far from clinically depressed, and that's a beautiful thing, and I want to offer you guys a little bit of hope. First things first, in this video, I want you to know that you are looking at me and you are seeing training footage of me in my current state. I am no longer depressed, only occasionally sad, and that's a wonderful thing. Let that give you some comfort if it's able to. Believing other people could overcome depression, while it didn't necessarily take away the pain of depression, it improved my ability to cope and hang on when I was depressed, and I hope I can do the same for you. So the first thing I did in order to learn how to work out, as the title of this video suggests, even when depressed, was set the intention to heal. Most people don't think about this, but it's a wonderful exercise, and to put it simply, I wrote out what life would look like, feel like, smell like, sound like, what everything would be like on a perfect day if I was no longer depressed. And I kind of anchored it around exercise and fitness. So I wrote that out, messy and convoluted, and I read it to myself every day. And it helped me, at least verbally and at least ritualistically, imagine for a moment I wasn't depressed, and gave me the opportunity to see myself in a different light. So that was first. I set the intention to heal. I wanted to get better, even if I didn't believe I'd get better, even if I didn't know how I would get better. And I read it every single day. The next thing I had to do in order to incorporate exercise into my day-to-day life, even while depressed, even when I could barely move, barely think, barely survive, was I had to accept that some form of exercise was going to be key if I was going to recover. I had to really embrace that reality, even if I didn't care, per se. Or at least I didn't think I cared. Right, and this went into my intention to heal. The next thing I had to do was experiment with what was going to work for me. I had to reframe exercise. Now, you're watching me exercise now very vigorously. I'm a CrossFit coach, and I'm a daily CrossFit athlete, among other things, and I built up to this point, which is great. But it didn't start this way. At first, exercise for me was going for a 5-minute walk and then turning around. And then I did it. I gave myself permission to celebrate that as a win, because at the time it really was. And then I progressed from there to maybe go for a short run. And then I progressed from there to maybe do some push-ups, some squats, some lunges, body weight. And then I progressed from there to going to the gym with someone and practicing lifting weights, even if I didn't know how I was doing it. Whatever it took for me to actually start the process, that was enough to get the ball rolling. That was the catalyst to slowly but surely getting to a space where I was working out harder, longer, and more effectively, let's say. I didn't create a high level of barrier to come to exercise. I lowered the standard, I lowered the bar until it was something I was willing to do. And I'm really glad I did that, because I couldn't have imagined training as hard as I do now back then. The next thing that has really helped catapult my mental health was finding CrossFit. See, I found out pretty quick that no matter how down I felt, no matter how sad I was, no matter how low energy or foggy my brain was experiencing, how it felt, if I went to a class environment around other people, even if I didn't think I wanted to be around other people, and had a coach leading me and telling me what to do, I just responded. In spite of myself, I just responded. 3, 2, 1, go. The clock starts. Tell me what I have to do. I'm just going to do it, no matter how uncomfortable I thought I was going into the gym. And over time, I started to realize that was incredibly satisfying. That in spite of myself, in spite of my hopelessness, in spite of my morose and depressed self, I was exercising pretty hard under the tutelage of other people. The group energy mattered to me more than I thought it did. Leadership mattered to me more than I thought it would, and having a pre-prescribed routine was very, very effective to me. The next thing I had to do was be consistent enough at whatever level to where it became a habit, to where it didn't matter what I thought, how I thought I was going to do, how I felt, how hopeless I was, how much anxiety I had, how much I didn't care, at least in my mind. I had to build a habit, toothbrush habit I would call it, so that going to CrossFit, going to the gym, and doing something every single day to check the box of my intention to heal, which included exercise, it was going to be like brushing my teeth. It was going to be like taking a shower. It was going to be like putting a couple bites of food in my mouth. It didn't matter what I thought or how I felt. I was going to do it. And I got so used to doing it that it's never stopped. That habit is so burned into me that it just ends up getting done. And I can count on that. And lastly, I had to let go of expectations of quick results, let go of expectations of when it was going to make me feel better, anything like that. I had to just have a little faith, or let others hold faith for me. I did my very, very best just to show up and let my legs take me to where my brain would eventually follow. And for a lot of my exercise, and for a lot of my workouts, and for a lot of my journey, I didn't know if any of it was making a difference. But intuitively, I believed it could. I believed it might. And then the strangest thing, of course, eventually happened. It washed over me that I wasn't depressed anymore. I was less depressed at first. Then I was just untrusting, but suddenly somewhere in the middle. And now I'm very, very thankful to say that I'm content. And I live in a space that I no longer consider to be anywhere near depression. And I never would have guessed that was possible. These are some of the ways that I eventually got to a point where I was working out no matter what. And as it applies today, I still have hard days. I still have sad days, anxious days, tired days, brain fog days. But I've built the habit. I've done the things I explained to you before. And it's like breathing. It's like eating. It's like brushing my teeth. I'm going to show up. And for me, CrossFit was really the secret sauce. But again, it didn't start there. I know I want people around. I know I want to be told what to do in a workout environment. And I know I'll do it. And I never ever leave the gym wishing I hadn't gone. So I wish you so much courage, so much hope. Whether you're just a little bit sad, whether you're having a situation in your life that's difficult, or you're clinically depressed, I wish you so much courage and so much hope to give yourself permission to be exactly where you are. Do whatever you're willing to do, be it a 5-minute walk out, 5-minute back, or 2 hours of CrossFit training, or powerlifting, or gardening, or biking, or running, or Olympic weightlifting, or skiing, or rowing, or tennis. It doesn't matter. I believe in you. You can do something, I promise. You can do something, whatever that is. Do 10 push-ups on your knees today. That's something. And feel better. I believe in you. Take care. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.